So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all sure it's all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a Nick Theater. I've imagined your mouth.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I think
We're not sluts.
we just love love. Do you hear that?
Sounds like crickets or frogs.
Oh no, I hear ringing. Do you hear the ringing?
That's tinnitus, honey.
I don't think so.
Do I hear ring? No,
It's probably the fan, but yeah.
the fan doesn't ring.
It's like a
fans.
bass, like just, I don't know. Like when the pipes do their thing. No? Okay.
I think it's your ears. I think your ears are
Be
ringing.
my ears are
It's
bad.
called tinnitus.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Archer.
Mop, mop, mop. What up, my demons?
Yeah.
It's your boy.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Yes, another week here at By the By.
Yeah.
You've got Angela
Yes.
and Bradford.
That's me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the Bradford.
It's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. What do we have? Let's get the boring stuff out of the way so we can talk
Alright.
about the sexy times. What do we have coming up? We have another pendulum party coming
Yes.
up. I'm guessing it's currently March. May,
May.
probably. We'll figure out a date and then we'll get that on you.
Yep. March 21st, however, it's OSS's, Our Secret Spot's
That's right.
6th birthday.
I know, right? Can you believe?
Darlinghurst, yes.
Amazing. It's going to school this year.
Oh, I was like, what?
Oh.
That's not the theme.
Our secret spot is going to school.
I was like, it's not a going to school theme.
Damn it,
No,
Angela.
actually, the theme for the party is Candyland.
Candyland.
Which is super exciting because there are so many amazing things I think you can do with costumes and outfits. So, yeah.
Yes, I'm going to be dancing around singing Willy Wonka songs going, come with me. No, come with me. Just come with me. Yeah. Actually, come without me. Hell, I don't care.
Just come.
Just come.
Just come.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be drinking a lot, so I'll be in a world of pure inebriation.
And I'm going to have on latex.
Yes.
Mine's a little different Candyland than I was originally thinking, but I had a particular set of latex that I wanted to wear, so we had a genius friend yesterday who gave me a brilliant idea on what to do with it and how to make it fit in with Candyland. So
It's
that
true.
was good. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's always a good time at Our Secret Spot, and their birthday parties are always off the chain.
Oh,
So-
yeah, their birthday parties
We
are
missed last
packed.
year because we were
They're-
traveling, and this
yeah.
year I'm very excited. Woo!
Yeah, it's
Yay!
going to be fun.
What else? I guess the next big thing will be our
Desire.
time at Desire.
Yeah. Life on the Swing Set takeover.
That's right, 7th through
November.
the 14th.
Yeah.
Very excited for that. That's going to be fun. The costume nights have been announced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you what they are
We'll
because
do
I
that
don't
on
remember.
We'll do that on a future podcast.
Yes.
I mean, we can go through it. I screenshotted it.
I will say I'm very excited for them. No, we can let's just keep it. Yeah. Well, you want to find out? You can go to the website and look at yourself, or you can wait and we'll tell you later. Very excited. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it is.
The gentleman's going again.
Yes. So exciting.
We've been we're already in the chats, so we've been talking a lot. Angela and I are moderating the newbie chats. Actually, Angela, myself, and the gentleman are moderating the newbie chats. So we are getting the new folk up to speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that speed?
55 miles per hour, and then they can't go below 55 miles per hour because then they might explode.
Oh, I was hoping for 69. Damn.
Oh, that's actually a better joke. But I was doing the Keanu Reeves thing.
Right.
See, the bus can't go. I can't even imitate Keanu Reeves. I mean, he's like, he is unimitatable. I can do this. Unimitatable. There.
I think in order to imitate him, you have to talk a lot slower.
Dude, so the bus. I still can't do it. It's terrible. But I do love Keanu Reeves. He's an amazing human. Anyway.
Or at least as an actor.
He seems to be a nice human as well. He's like,
I don't know anything about him human-wise.
he's a good human.
Okay.
He's like one
We'll
of
go
those.
with that.
He's like do no harm, and like I concur. He's like, let people be themselves. Like, I agree. He's like, let's fight the patriarchy. I'm like, yeah. Go do it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Anything else exciting? There was something that popped into my head and I forgot. Damn it.
I don't know.
Must not have been important.
No. If it is, it'll come back to you at some point.
I know what it was. I had validation and vindication this week.
Again.
No, this was important. This is something that I rarely get validated on. And then I got vindicated. So we had somebody on Twitter message us and say that they listened to the first Urban Dictionary podcast. And they made it most of the way through the second Urban Dictionary podcast before quitting. And then the third Urban Dictionary podcast came out, and they were like, as much as I love you guys and the gentleman, I just couldn't suffer through it.
Yeah.
And
Another one. That's the second one, isn't it?
that's the second one.
Yeah.
So I now put the kibosh.
Well, I think we've pretty well gone through a lot of them.
So I will allow the occasional one Urban Dictionary thing to pop up.
Like one term.
Like one term, just
All right.
occasionally.
All right.
So make them count.
All right, I will.
All right.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important.
I'm going to have to work hard on that.
I know, right?
Yeah. They're not really words that typically, like, are phrases that slip into casual conversation very much.
No, that is correct. They do not, like, when you're at the grocery store standing in line, and, like, would you like paper or plastic? A blue waffle? Like, no, they don't just slip into conversation. So, yeah, I was very happy to read that tweet, and I think I even retweeted it. Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fine. It's okay.
So, how are you doing?
Good. It's been an amazing weekend.
It has been.
I'm pretty chill, relaxed.
I'm in the best headspace I've been in a few months.
Yeah.
And
what did it take to get there?
lots and lots of boning.
A lot of sexy times, a lot of nakedness.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I was traveling this week, and it all started on Monday with a random Grindr hookup, and that ended up one of those, like, surprise fun kind of things.
So it was a good one.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, it was quick. It was like 20 minutes, but, you know, we were both exhausted, and it was like, let's just get this shit done.
Yeah.
And we did, and it was fun. Yeah, so Grindr's always fun in a hotel when you're like, the other person's like, hey, I'm just one floor up. And in the olden days, that was great because you could take the elevator to any floor. Now you leave your room. I have tried this thing where you go into the stairwell and go up, but then all the doors are locked from the outside, so you have to be let out then, or you have to walk all the way down to the bottom, and then you look like, hi, I'm lost, I'm also barefoot.
Yeah, because most of the hotels now, you have to swipe your card, and it only works at your level.
Yeah, exactly. So I get into the elevator, or if you're Australian or British, the lift, and I hit his button. There's a joke there, for his floor, and nothing happens. Swipe my card, hit the floor, nothing happens. So I message them like, hey, I can't get to your floor. So we either meet on the ground floor and then go up. And so what we ended up doing...
Or you meet me at the stairwell door.
Or you meet me at the stairwell door.
Yeah.
But what we ended up doing was he called the elevator, and it happened to call the elevator that I was in. So
well, that was
fortunate.
lucky.
Yeah, so...
And so if it hadn't called your elevator, just try again?
I think so. I think that's exactly what would have happened. So, yeah, it was good. So that was Monday. And then...
Did we get any juicy details?
I mean, it's not... They're not really that juicy. It was very... what's the word I'm looking for? Not pragmatic, but it was... Prescriptive? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, basically, I always go into their room because I feel like they could murder me in my room and then leave, and no one would ever know they were in my room. So I like to go to their room with the option to murder if nothing works out.
I was going to say, you realize that works the other way, too.
Yeah, but I know I'm not a murderer. See, the logic. You know, it's like, yes, one of us always tells the truth, and one of us always lies. So, yeah. So I went down up to his room and basically opened the door, got me out of the elevator, opened his door, got in there, and immediately there was no chatting, just like, let's start making out. And then he started took my shirt off and started going down on me, and I'm like, yeah, this is good. So I was like, you know what? I feel, and I was like totally fine with just being top Bradford for once.
Okay.
Again, like it's starting to become a thing.
Wow.
I think I might officially be verse now.
How many times do you have to be?
I don't know.
How many times does a bottom have to be top in order to become first?
That's a math
like,
equation
is
that
it
I am not
once,
qualified.
or is it?
I mean, I guess
multiples, or
I don't know.
is it like a frequency thing?
I'm really.
How does this get defined?
There is science here that I am not qualified to science.
I think we'll just go with self-definition for now. So
Agreed.
how do you
And
label yourself?
I am now moving into the verse category.
Okay.
So yeah, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna go down on him for a while because I want to, and I did. And then I it was very funny because he was a self-identified French twink.
Okay.
So very French, great accent. I'm sure he wore a beret. That's jingoist, but it's still funny. But I think he actually did have a beret in his room. And then, yeah, so I got all Dom Bradford and was like, I grabbed him, threw him on the bed.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that was it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. It was fun. It was good. It was, like I said, fit for purpose. And I was kind of like, grr.
Start your week off right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to sound like one of those weird things. I was like, it was mainly because I was like, well, Angela and I didn't have sex this morning because I left too early.
So I deserve it.
I deserve this. Yeah, it's funny. And then, yeah, so let's fast forward to Friday.
Yeah.
So Friday was dun 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 dun
Pendulum. It was the first Pendulum at our secret spot in Annandale, which is their new venue. And I mean, I was really looking forward to it. I'm sure you were as well.
I was chomping at the bit.
But it was...
And it was one of those things that was this perfect storm where it was at Annandale. It was the first one. Ticket sales were apparently great. Then the gentlemen could manage to come. Mm-hmm. Leo came. So like our whole little poly team came. Angela walks in with 3 men on her arms.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. And we all ended up at the club together at the same time, right at the front door. And we all entered together. Yeah, it was great. I was just so excited.
It was a good way to start.
It really was.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hadn't seen the boys for a while.
Yeah.
Because of traveling and whatnot. So it was good to see both of them. And yeah, then like it was one of those things, the party started at 8:30, but literally by 9, it was getting full.
Yeah, it took, I would say it was closer to 9 because right at 8...
That's what I said, at 9.
Yeah, but right at 8:30, usually there's a few people that come in pretty early on, but there wasn't really this time.
I think 2 or 3 couples, not a lot.
It seemed to take a little bit more for people to really start coming in, but then once they started, that was, like, it just kept rolling. And started to pick up steam really quickly.
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, and like, how many people do you guess? I'm guessing it was couples, and couples-wise, I'll guess 58 couples.
Yeah, see, I would go less.
Really?
I would have said closer to 45 or 50 couples.
Okay, I would have said 55 at minimum couples. And then, like, probably, I'm going to say 4 or 5 single men and 3 single ladies.
Yeah, I know all of the singles tickets were sold out.
Okay, so it was 5 single men and 5 single ladies.
So yeah, it was however many those are allowed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't have the final numbers yet, but I would have guessed around 45 to 50 couples. But it was a lot of people.
It was more than 100 people there, for sure.
Either way, it was a lot of people, and it was a good lot of people. It wasn't so packed that you couldn't move or anything. Because that venue's a lot bigger than the old venue. Or a fair bit bigger. Yeah. Yeah.
And we had international crowd. We had
it's true.
The brains behind A Slut podcast came over. And
yeah, it was good to see him again.
Yeah, it was good to see him. He's over from New Zealand. If you don't listen to A Slut podcast, give it a go. Yeah, it was good. It was like, and seeing all these people that I had felt like I hadn't seen in ages, and then people that I had met before and maybe hadn't gotten to chat with, and then all the new faces.
Yeah, there were a lot of new people. So I think it was a really good mixture of people who've been before, some regulars that come to Pendulum, But then there were also quite a few new people, and I tried to get around and talk to some of them, but I couldn't get to everybody.
No, it was because there was too many people.
Well, and I may have spent a lot of time upstairs in the playroom.
You did.
Yeah.
So we all started around the pool table, and I think I don't know, I think I was at the bar talking to the bar staff, and then you and the gentleman and Leo started a game of pool. And then I think you immediately bowed out of that game of pool, and the gentleman and Leo were playing.
Well, we just started talking to people.
Yeah.
And so the game kind of goes by the wayside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It becomes not
And then
really
whoever
important.
picks up a stick hits a ball, and yeah.
And then I walked over, and I think there was probably at that point 10 people around the pool table, but we were all kind of chatty and occasionally hitting a ball. And then, yeah, it was one of those things that, in my mind, you snap your fingers and suddenly it's 10 o'clock. And the music's going, and it's loud. And I think at that point I had, I don't know, 3 glasses of wine, and I was feeling pretty happy.
Yeah.
And I kept hanging on. I would go between hanging on you, and then the gentleman, and then Leo, and then the gentleman, and then you, and Leo, and the gentleman, and then I mean, it was like, yeah, I was hanging on all of my team. And you came up, and then you were wearing this awesome latex top.
Yeah, it was a
bottom.
latex crop top, and then a little skirt as well.
It looks like
to
a
go
kilt.
with
It looks like a short kilt.
Yeah,
a latex kilt, because it's very pleated.
It's a pleated skirt, yeah.
And you came up and were like, just kind of out of the blue, okay, I'm going to go upstairs because I'm going to play with him. And you pointed to someone that...
And that was at 10:15.
Yes.
Yes.
At 10:14, because I was like, oh my God, you're 16 minutes early. Because I remember it being like, it's 16 minutes early and Angela's getting naked. Holy shit. But this is a fella that came to your gangbang, and I'm going to tell you what I told Leo, which was, I think that Angela was marking her territory with this fella, because he came to the gangbang but ended up going with another lady.
Yeah.
And they had like, because there ended up being 2 gangbangs at your gangbang.
So she went to another room with him and a couple of other guys.
And so, and I know that our paths have crossed with him outside of the club scene as well recently a few times. And it was just kind of like, you were like, I want to play with him.
Yeah.
And you'd already said that
I like
to
him.
me. I like him. I want to play with him.
And he's cute.
And I was like,
I want to play with him.
I understand. He is cute. And I understand. And so you came up and were like, I'm going to go dress down and go play with him. And I was like, oh, well, okay then. Have fun. And then I mocked you because it was 16 minutes early. Yeah. And you were like, well, I don't know when he's leaving, and I know he's going to be a popular boy, and I want to get my talons in him early. And so you left, and I was like, yeah, she's doing a bit of her territory. Like, this is mine. It's like, I like this. It's mine. I don't have any problem with this. I'm just, that's clearly, you were predatory, Angela.
Well,
It was cute.
I knew that I wanted to play with him, and he and I had already talked about this earlier that night a couple of times.
Where was I? This is
I don't know, just around. Yeah. But we had already had a few conversations or kind of little moments of like, really interested in playing with you, like to finish what we'd started, like gangbang, whatever, that kind of thing. And it was just like, I want to make sure we get time together. And so there'd been a few little kind of comments made, and I knew that he wasn't going to stay till 3 a.m. likely. Right. And so I was like, okay, I know how things go I would say at the club in general, but particularly Pendulum nights, is once kind of play gets started, it's so easy to get wrapped up in whatever group you're with, or you go off with some other people, whatever, and then you may or may not get back to everybody that you want to play with. It becomes
a time vortex, and you're like, before you know it, an hour and a half has passed.
Yeah, so you don't get time to maybe interact with everybody that you wanted to, or to play with them. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss out this time, because I missed out before, and he's a really cute guy, he's really nice, and I like him, and so I was like, okay, I want to make sure that I get some playtime with him. And so I was like, let's nip this in the bud and let's get this done early and make sure that there's time for it. And then, if he stays and plays and whatever, then that's awesome. But then at least there's no, I don't put any pressure on myself to make sure that I seek him out or keep an eye on him or whatever. Yeah. And because I didn't want that pressure.
So was it you that instigated?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
kind
was
of
like,
figured.
hey,
Okay.
do you want to go on
Okay.
upstairs?
I kind of
And,
figured,
yeah.
but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I was more curious than anything else because I do really like him, but I didn't see him as the kind that would say, "Hey, you want to do this now?"
I don't know.
Whereas
if
it's
he-
more. That is a very Angela thing to
Yeah,
do.
I don't know if he would have or when he would have,
Okay.
but I did.
So,
So yeah, we
well,
went.
good.
We went upstairs, and because I'd had the latex on, and I didn't want to taste like latex, silicone spray, and sweat, I was like, I'm gonna rinse off in the shower first, and so yeah, he came and rinsed off in the shower with me, and then we went to one of the beds up in the big orgy room.
Shower number 1.
Yes.
That'll become. You'll get it later. And so, how did that go?
It was good. Yeah. So we ended up. We
Was it
took
everything you hoped it would be?
We took a spot on one of the side beds in the orgy room. So
I think
not
you were on the first bed, weren't you?
the second one.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah, second one.
Okay.
And so we weren't at the one in the back, the big long
Right,
one,
yeah.
the double one or whatever. So yeah, we took a spot on a side bed, and at that point it was pretty empty.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anyone else up there. There might have been one other couple, but it was pretty empty at that point. But yeah, we just laid down on the bed and started playing, and it was really good because I tried not to be too gur because I didn't want to scare him off. But I don't think
Which is
I would
funny
have.
because we've spent enough pants on time with
Yeah.
him, like as a friend now,
Yeah.
that I think he knows that you can be
Yeah.
not scary but aggressive,
Right.
assertive.
Yeah,
Assertive.
and I don't think I would scare him off, but still, I was like, oh, we'll take this a little easy. But yeah, it was good. It was fun, and there was a little bit of push pull, which was kind of fun as well.
Uh-huh.
And at times he would take a little more control, and then at times I would, and it was fun. It was really good. Yeah, I very much enjoyed it.
Cool, good.
So
Because I know you said that
definitely-
he asked if he could pull your hair and spank you.
Yeah, so he pulled my hair a little bit, which is okay because he didn't pull too hard, and I don't
Yeah.
mind a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those people that likes my hair pulled like just really hard or anything. Yeah, but he did a little bit, but it was a good little bit. But then at some point he was behind me, doggy, and he did ask if he could spank me, and I said, no, I'm not really into that, but thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Because I think that was really polite of him to
Yeah,
ask.
absolutely.
Because a lot of people will just do it, or even just do it lightly as a tester. But
Yeah.
to actually ask first, I was impressed. I thought that was really good.
It's so funny. Just to kind of touch on that, I am so not a hair puller.
Yeah.
I am when we're making out. Like if I'm making out with somebody, I will from the base of the neck.
Yeah.
I love to grab the hair there, but I do that. Gender doesn't matter. I will
Right.
always kind of grab and pull a little. But like during sex, that's not a time for me. That's not a time to pull hair.
See, I do it.
Though you do it to guys a lot.
I do it to guys a lot, and it's more so. Some of it's a little bit of, well, of course, if I'm orgasming or whatever, then it's just intensity.
Yeah.
But I do it a lot to turn their head one way or the other. I'll do that to like turn and gain access to a neck or an ear
Yeah.
or whatever. So I do it a fair bit, and that could be why. I'm going to say others may
Yeah.
think that I like it because I'm doing it
Because
to them
you
as
do it,
well.
yeah.
But I don't mind a little. I just don't like it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fine.
And I would say it's more just a little bit of tension on the scalp is okay. But to like pull, I don't
Yeah.
like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that does.
differentiation.
I think
But-
that does. But it is kind of funny.
But I do it more to guys, you're right.
Yeah, you do it a lot,
Yeah.
and you do it their chest hair. You grab
I love chest
You'll
hair.
grab fistfuls of chest hair.
I love chest hair, but I only really do that with guys that I know that like it.
Yeah, yeah.
So because there's a few guys that we play with that
Really like Leo
really like,
loves it.
Yeah, really like to have it pulled, and I am all about pulling it. Like if they're
Cranky
down,
Bear is another one.
Yeah, if they're down for it,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to pull that.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, just again, from my point of view, what had happened, you disappeared, and I was cuddling with Leo for a while, and then like literally 2 minutes later, the gentleman is being drug upstairs. There's a lady, one guy in each hand, so, a fella. I don't remember who the other fella was, and then the gentleman.
Yeah.
And he looked over at Leo and I and kind of did one of those his trademark goofy grin. And then the wave where he kind of holds his hand up and just the fingers wave. And we're like, yep, he's gone. He's off to have fun. And so they went upstairs. And then Leo goes, do you want to go upstairs? And I was like, honestly, right now I'm in a really good space. I'm going to want to go upstairs. But right now, like, let's just chat a little more, because we were talking to a lot of different people about a lot of different fun stuff, and at maybe 5 minutes later, one of the bar staff came over and said, "We're out of glasses completely." Or I guess we went over to the bar and we're out of glasses. So I looked at Leo and I said, "Do you mind doing a sweep of the downstairs? I'll do a sweep of the upstairs because I also want to see what's going on." And he was like, "You bastard." So I went upstairs and had a quick look, found a single glass.
Because there weren't many of us up there at that point.
A single glass. And kind of saw you guys, all you all on different beds, you know, the gentleman with his threesome and then you and the other fella. And I watched for just a half a second. I was like, it was such a good feeling to see.
Compersion.
Yeah, it was. To see you having fun by yourself and then the gentleman having fun with this couple. And I went back downstairs and ran into Leo, who had a stack of glasses that looked like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And I was like, "I found a glass." He's like, "Fucker, takes half of these." So I helped. And then we dropped the glasses off, got another drink. And then I think I said, like, let's go up. I want to go upstairs. Let's go upstairs.
And so, and when the gentleman came up, because he came up not long, like you said, not long after I went up there. And we started playing. And, he ended up on the other bed with the other lady and the other gentleman. And that was interesting because the room wasn't busy yet. So it was really just them on that bed, us on this bed. And I still think
there was a couple watching.
Okay.
Because when I walked up there, you all were on one bed, they were on another bed, and then there was a couple watching both beds.
I kept thinking that there was another couple there, but I couldn't figure out where they were because they kind of peripheral to me. But the gentleman and the two that he was with, because they were the only other ones up there really playing, it was almost a little distracting because it's like, I want to watch them because there wasn't so much activity that you can't focus on any particular one, but they were the only other ones. So every now and again, I'd kind of catch them out of the corner of my eye or sneak a glance over and see what they were doing.
That's funny.
They looked like they were having an amazing time.
I think they were.
Yeah,
yes.
It was really fun to see that though.
So then Leo and I got up there, and by the time we got up there and I think we dressed down and then walked into the main orgy area, at that point there were people on every bed. It had picked up a lot. Like it was like suddenly everybody went up there to change and get on a bed, and we started making out watching one of the groups, and then you and the gentleman were playing with two other friends of ours that we hadn't seen in a while, or at least on the same bed with them. Yeah,
so we had, because there was a bit of a time gap in between of those. Because when I finished with the other guy, I went and rinsed off.
Number 2.
Because I knew that, it was still early and there was going to be more playtime. And so, I just rinsed off a bit. And then I think I went downstairs maybe to grab a quick drink or something.
I don't remember. So we must have been, Leo and I must have been downstairs longer than I realized.
I think you were downstairs for a fair bit. Because I went downstairs after the first play session. And I don't remember if I got a drink or what. Probably did. But then it wasn't too long at all before I went back upstairs again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that makes sense.
You didn't come up for a little while.
It felt like, I guess we were down there. I know we talked to, I can think of a couple couples that we chatted to for a very long time. And then anyway, so we got upstairs and there was a fivesome on the bed. Only one person I didn't really know. I had been introduced to them, but I didn't really know them. But it hit me that I was like, oh wait, we know that other couple. Yeah. So let's just kind of, and Leo had played with them as well ages ago at, I think, my birthday party. Yeah. So we kind of came over to the bed, and then next thing you know, gosh, I don't even remember exactly what was happening. I know that I went down on the both of them for a while, the gentleman and Leo for a while, back and forth. That was fun. Yeah, I don't remember what was happening to me at the time.
You were going down on them. I was going down on you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and there was some interaction between the other couple as well. Yeah. We didn't really interact with the person they were playing with because I had talked to them, but I hadn't, not enough to be like, I feel like I can play with you. I think at one point I did put my hand on her leg, honestly, to kind of stabilize a little bit in whatever position I was in. But I did ask, I was like, is this okay? And they said that it was. So that was, but it was one of those, like, I don't want to make them uncomfortable because it's the first time that they've been to the club or anything. And so and I mean, just don't want to make anybody uncomfortable anyway, period. But at the same time, they were kind of right there with everything going on, and I had at least talked to them, but I wasn't going to just dive right in or anything. But that was a fun play session because it ended up with basically what started as that threesome playing, and then you and I and the gentleman and Leo, so the 4 of us on the bed, and so 7 people in and around one of those side beds, and there was some movement from, one person from this side to that side, and a little bit of crossover between the 3s and the 4s, and it was just really started to get into that really fluid puppy pile kind of thing. And it was good as well for me to play with the couple that we had known from before that was part of the threesome, because I hadn't seen them in ages. Yeah. And I guess you hadn't either. We hadn't seen them in a long time.
I didn't play much with them only because I was so focused on
I didn't want to...
my core.
Yeah, and I didn't want to intrude on their time with the other person.
Exactly.
But there was still some interaction between, and so that, I didn't get as much time with him as I would like, but it's okay, we can rectify that in the future.
Yeah, we can fix this.
But, yeah.
It can be solved.
But that was fun, because that just really started to get into the whole puppy pile thing, and I know that when we started, there were a number of people up in the orgy room, but by the time we ended, I looked up and it was packed.
Fucking packed.
There were people on all the beds, around all the beds. There were people standing watching, and I don't know if they were just voyeuring or if they were waiting for a space to open up, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But it was packed, and it was amazing.
So, and what caught me too was that occasionally my attention would be drawn to all the folks watching, because there was a lot of folks watching. And I remember at one point a lady going down on this guy. She was sitting down, he was standing up. She was sitting on one of the little ottoman places, and he was standing up. She's going down on him, and then I go back to what I'm doing, and then I look back a few minutes later, and now a guy is going down on him, and she's kind of guiding the guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is great. I this is so cool.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where I was having so much fun. And I think it goes back to the, creating a space where it was very normal for Leo and I to walk around holding hands, and for, the gentleman and I to kiss, and it was very, there's nothing special about it.
It's not a gay sauna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's nothing special about it.
Yeah.
It's just that's what it is. Yeah. And it's I think it does make this environment where people feel really safe and really comfortable. And it was so much fun. But so we played in that group for a while.
Yeah. One
of my favorite comments was Leo said he had never experienced this, but so he and the gentleman left, because the gentleman, I think, came on your chest.
The gentleman came on my chest.
Yeah.
So then we went to the shower to rinse off.
Yes. And then Leo needed to check his phone and then also go downstairs. He wanted a glass of wine.
Yes.
At about the same time.
And I was going to get some water at that point.
At the same time that we're all sort of breaking up, a foursome of friends of ours came and jumped on the bed, and one of the ladies immediately went down on me, and the other lady and her husband, I started going down on him, and I was like, well, I'm just going to stick here. So we'll come back to that in a second. But Leo said as he was walking away, he had 4 people, all women, kind of just pat him on the butt, and were like, good job, that was great, good show. He goes, I've experienced that in a sauna where people smack your butt, but he was like, it's never in a sports kind of good go. Congratulations. That was great kind of thing. He goes, that was weird. Didn't say I didn't like it, but that was weird.
Yeah, so that was, at the end of that one, I went to go rinse off because the gentleman had come on my chest, and I was like, I'm just going to rinse off and then go downstairs and get some water, because I could really use some rehydration at that point. But then, like you said, the foursome came up of our other friends and jumped on the bed, and it was like, oh, I really want to play with them too. And so I had a bit of a quandary of, do I go downstairs and get water and then probably I could still come back up and join in with that group. It's a bit of that mistiming thing that, if you're not quite there and just coming back in can be a little trickier. So I decided to forego the water for a bit and just jump back in, and I would deal with hydration later.
So that was then shower number 3.
That was 3. Yes.
Shower number 3. So I had somebody going down on me, and then the one lady was squirting everywhere because she's the one that when we were at the rabbit hole, I needed 2 towels to and a snorkel to dry my head, and so she'd been squirting everywhere, and then I was like, all right, time for you to sit on my face. And so she sat on my face while the lady who was going down on me condomed me up and then jumped on. It's so funny. I give her blanket consent, absolutely blanket consent, but I love that she doesn't even ask anymore. She just like assumes that she can use me, which she can. I'm totally okay with.
So you may not have seen it, but at that point, when the snorkel lady was sitting on your face and the other one was going down on, or was riding you, I was kind of a little bit on the side of that. I think interacting with one of the other partners or something, I don't know, something. And then she was like, she looked at me and she's like, I want to go down on you. So I arranged myself kind of next to you, slid down so that as she's riding you, she was then going down on me.
I felt something. I couldn't see anything because, but I felt something, and then the way she was riding me changed. Yeah. And it felt different. Yeah. And I could tell that she was no longer focused on me 100%. She was now focused more on someone else. And that someone else was you.
It was.
Yay. So it was, yeah.
And I think I had her partner at that point. I was kind of trying to go down on him, a little bit of hand job. Yeah. But it was just so hard because there's so many bodies and so many different rhythms of things. And so it's like I can do a little bit of this, but I don't feel like I'm doing like 100% my best job. But I'm still having fun with it, as long as you are.
and honestly, that's how I was. And so finally, I had to get out because I was like, I've been laying here like this for 30 minutes and different people climbing on and climbing off as if I'm a pommel horse, which I, again, totally consent to and okay with. And so she got off of me, and as I'm rolling to get out of bed, the lady who was sitting on my face, she gets up, and then her partner's standing there, and his dick is like right there. So I'm like, all right. And again, I know that he's okay with it, so I started going down on him for a while. And he's one of those guys that like is, well, you've seen him. He's extremely long. Yeah. And it takes some effort, but I can deep throat him. Yeah. And he's like, whoa, this is good. Not a lot of people do that. And I was like, #expert. So yeah.
Practice.
So at that point in the night, I have gone down on 3 women, and then I've had 3 or 4 different cocks in my mouth, and had 2 women riding me. And that was a good start for the night.
I didn't even count.
Yeah, I was counting because I was like, because I was thinking to myself, honestly, at this point, I'm like, this is going to be big. This is like, I could already tell the way my body was sort of responding and the way my headspace was. I was like, this is going to be a big night. Yeah. Pay attention, focus. So let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll tell more of the story. Angela.
Yes.
Do you like sex toys?
I love sex toys.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you wish you could have more sex toys?
Always.
Do you wish you could have a sex toy at 50% off?
That's even better, yes.
With that sex toy, do you wish that you could have 6 videos on demand that you could watch and use these sex toys with?
Absolutely.
With those, that 50%
oh my God,
off
it gets
sex
better.
Toy and the videos on demand. Do you wish that whoever you purchase these sex toys from would just throw 6 items in there? Maybe something for you, maybe something for me, maybe something for both of us.
That would be amazing.
Can
that happen? Is that a thing?
It does happen.
Yeah.
And you know
and
how
where
it
does
happens?
it? No, how does it happen? Where does it happen?
If you Google or type in in your Google box adamandeve.com.
Okay.
You'll go to adamandeve.com. Find an item that you like. Put in the coupon code BYTHEBI, BYTHEBI. You get all that. And the one thing that turns you on more than anything else.
Free shipping.
Free shipping.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you go to adamandeve.com and you use the coupon code BYTHEBI, that's BYTHEBI. You'll get everything we've already talked about,
Yeah.
and that should make you happy.
Yay. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, easy orgasms for you, easy orgasms for your partner, you know.
And all kinds of fun for everybody.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right.
Yeah.
To the internet. So, last we left, I was counting the number of partners. And it's not a competition, but it always makes me happy. So
Yeah, no, I didn't even bother. I was just there for the fun, and I just wanted to soak it all up and enjoy it, and yeah.
So,
But I did hit a record on this pendulum.
did you?
Uh-huh.
I love it. I'm just here to soak it all up. I didn't keep count, but I hit a record. What was the record?
The number of showers that I've had in one night there.
Right. That's true.
Because we're up to 3 so far.
Yes. So after that play, did you take? We both took a shower.
Yes.
Because at this point, I had she had squirted all over my face, and I had look, I had 5 different people's sweat all over me, including my own. It was great. We jumped in the shower.
We both needed a shower after that one, and
shower number 4 or number 1 for me.
And it was also a kind of a moment for us to just kind of be like, kind of come together,
Yeah. Hey,
take a breath.
How you doing?
Yeah, take a breath and be like, whew, okay. But at that point, I was like, I really do need some water now. So, yeah, I had to go downstairs and get some.
So we went downstairs and had a little respite, and this was about 1:30 maybe.
Yep.
So we have an hour and a half more of club. Actually, no, I think this was at 1, because the boys left at 1:30. Mm-hmm. The gentleman dropped Leo off, and they left. And then you and I chatted with some folks for a while, and there was this lady that kept, like, I'm going to kind of go back into the night and try to explain who this beautiful woman is. But she was one that we had talked about on a podcast earlier, where you had played with her and her partner while I was traveling. Mm-hmm. Well, you introduced her to me, and I did something that I have never done. Like the 3rd time she passed. So Leo and I were actually talking about her, and I was like, she's beautiful. And he was like, she is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And he goes, and you know me, like, women aren't my thing. She's beautiful. I was like, I know, right? And it's like, she's one of those people that's always smiling, and the smile is genuine because it goes up to her eyes, and it's like, you can really tell. And so she walks past us to go to the bar, and every time she walks past, she kind of drags her fingers, just like, it's just a hello touch, nothing creepy. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm going to kiss her on the way back. And he goes, oh, you totally should. I want to watch. And I said, you could ask if you could kiss her too. He's like, no. I'm going to watch you kiss her. He goes, that's what I want to see. All right. So on the way back, I kind of stopped her. I was like, hey, may I kiss you? And she was like, oh my gosh, yes. I was like, sweet. So kissed her for a bit. Then she goes, I got to take these drinks, because she was carrying drinks for people back to my friends. I was like, cool, thank you. Walked off, and he goes, oh my God, that was hot.
It was, because I was sitting on the couch talking to somebody else at the moment, and it was like, I can't focus on the conversation at the moment. I need to watch this.
It's so rare for me to do that, to kind of like, because I don't know. I think it's still, a lot of me is high school Bradford, and I'm always expecting people to say no or no thank you, which is good. I want them to, but it's still, it still can be hard to hear. Yeah. And I'm okay with it, but it can be hard to hear. But so I kissed her.
I'm just glad that you, I'm going to say, liked her and got along with her enough, because when I played with her and her partner, I was like, you're going to like them, and we need to, get in touch with them and whatever. And so I'm just glad I was right.
Dude, I really think you should know that you know me. Like, you know my type, and she's totally my type. She's that Disney princess look. It's so funny, because Lola Lady always is telling me, she's like, you have such a type. Like, big eyes, quick to smile, mid to long hair. Like she's like,
and this person is really pretty, but also just great personality. Like
yes.
you said, always smiley, positive.
She glows.
Yeah.
And she literally glows.
Yeah.
Of course, it could have been the black lights, because we were standing under the black lights. And wow, your teeth are fucking perfect. So anyway, we fast forward to there'd been a lot of those incidental passes with her, and then you and I was like, I want to go upstairs and play with you. Angela.
Right, and that was interesting because at that point it was that 1/130 point, and I had a lot of play, and I was kind of just rehydrating, and I was at that point that I'm okay to kind of wrap up the night for myself and just stay down here and talk to people, but
I was not okay with that.
But then an opportunity presents itself, I'm certainly not going to say no.
Yeah,
so.
And I was not okay with that. I was more okay with let's go back upstairs
Yeah.
and dive into a pile of people.
Yeah, and I was on the cusp
Which
of
again, rare for me.
Yeah, and I was on the cusp of I could do either, but I needed an impetus or a push to go back upstairs.
Yeah.
So it was good. I'm glad it did.
Yeah, so I was like, let's go back upstairs because, again, my headspace was in such a good space to play, and especially at a Pendulum. This was a fucking perfect storm.
A perfect fucking storm?
It was a fucking perfect storm. And a perfect fucking storm. So we go back upstairs, and we're sitting on the bed, kind of, we change a sheet, and we're sitting on a bed kind of making out, and then this lovely lady who we were just discussing happens to come up, and she's like, oh, can I join you? And I think that before she even finished the can I, both of us were like, yes!
Please do.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. And so she ended up, one of her friends that she was with changed the sheets on another bed for us, which, number one, massive points to him.
That's a good friend.
That's a great fucking friend. A great friend for fucking. That works so many times.
It does, yeah.
Anyway. So we ended up going over to this bed, and just like, the whole thing is kind of a blur to me at this point, because admittedly at this point I've had a bottle and a half of wine, and so I remember going down on her for quite a while, and then she did something that I think is so respectful, which is so respectful, yes, but also that I very much respect, which is requesting something. She's like, she looks at me and she's like, I want you to go down on her, pointing to you, and she's like, while I eat you out. And I was like, I'm just going, what an odd way to say oral sex. Because I was thinking just blowjob. Yeah, I was like, what an odd way to say that. But okay. And she goes, are you okay with that? And I was like, well, yeah. And then you looked at me and went, are you okay with that? And when you said it, it hit me what she meant. I was like, oh, I am very okay with this. It's funny. I will say that is an odd position to be in, with my ass in the air and somebody eating me out while I'm going down on you. It's an odd position to be in the club. Like,
you realize that I've been in that position many a time.
Yes.
But it's an odd position for you as a male to be in.
As a male, it's an odd position to be in. Because it is, even, dude, I've bottomed at the club.
Yeah.
For other men. So I don't know what it is. It was, I'm not complaining at all.
Did you feel vulnerable?
I felt very vulnerable.
And it wasn't busy up in the room at that point.
No.
There were a few other groups and couples and people around, but it wasn't, like, super crazy busy.
Yeah, and fast forward, I'm disappointed nobody smacked my ass and told me good job. Fuck you, Leo. Anyway. So, that went on for a while, and finally I was like, oh, okay, here's a Urban Dictionary for you. The old rusty trombone, getting rimmed while somebody's jacking you off, and that was, that's so good. And so, at some point then, again, somebody was sitting on my face, I think it was you, and then she directs her male friend to go down on me. Like, she got all dom, which again, fuck, yeah. A beautiful woman who's a dom, yes, who direct, and you're like, are you okay with that? And I'm
well, because we hadn't, I don't know about you, because you had a lot more time to talk to people downstairs, but I hadn't had any interactions whatsoever with her friends.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna assume, being her friends, that they're okay people and that they're in line with the kind of play that we're doing and whatever, but still I had no idea anything about them or their limits or what they liked or anything like that, and so it was kind of like, I'm going to assume this is okay, but still it's better to ask. So.
Absolutely, and I was totally okay with it. We hadn't had a lot of conversations, me and them, but we'd had enough that I was like, they're both very attractive and I like them both. he reminded me of a couple of partners that I'd had in the past that I very much liked. So I was like, yes, I am okay with this. And so then at some point, I think I could tell you were getting dehydrated.
Yeah.
And so you were getting dehydrated. And so I was like, you got off me. You're like, I'm going to go downstairs and get some water. Well,
Yeah.
so
I'm
then
like, you sit here and play. I'm gonna go.
well, and then it was me and her, and I was like, can I fuck you now? She was like, oh yes, please. And yeah, so it was good sex. And, the things that pop into my head that are funny that I know you'll appreciate, which were, she was like, at one point, I should clarify before I say this. No one has ever said this to me. And she goes, you act like you're a good boy, but you're actually a really bad boy, aren't you? And I was like, that was after the sex. And I was like, of course, my response to I am not a bad boy. I mean, I like dirty things, but I'm not. I wish I was a bad boy. I wear a leather jacket. Does that make me a bad boy?
That's only when you're really cold.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, so...
and while you were finishing playing with her...
You went to shower number 5?
I went to shower number 5.
Number 5.
And then I went downstairs and, started to really try and hydrate again, because I'd had a lot of playtime and there wasn't very much hydration in between.
Yeah.
So yeah. But it was good. And I was like, I'm very happy for you to stay, finish playing with her and whoever's upstairs. I was just, at that point, I was like, I need to take care of myself. You do you. And have a good time.
And it was one of those things, we didn't really talk about that before. And it's interesting that in these past, I'm going to say in the past 6 months, you and I have gotten a lot better about, especially me, about playing by myself in a club situation like that, and trusting that you're okay with it, and that even without us communicating about it, just having that implicit trust and understanding that it's okay.
Well, in this particular pendulum party, there was a lot of ebb and flow. So there were, we would start out together, then kind of I went upstairs and split off from you. We came back together. And so there was a bit of that kind of, there were times that we would come together and then connect, and then that was a little bit of a check-in, and just like, you're okay, things are good, whatever, and then somebody comes along, and one of us goes a different direction, and it was, it didn't really matter, because there were those moments to check in, and hey, we're okay now, it's fine, we can go away, and I think having that ebb and flow, which we have had a bit more lately, it's actually really nice, but at the same time, when we come back together, it's like, I really want you.
Yeah. Yes, totally. It was interesting because you describe it perfectly as an ebb and flow. I think that's a great way to look at it. Because we've often done that in the club downstairs, talking to people.
Yes.
You'll talk to one group and I'll be talking to somebody else. And then we'll come together and then we'll talk to some people. And then one of us will undoubtedly get distracted by somebody else and chat with them, but rarely do we do it and play.
And that's true.
I think it started for us in Desire last year, in November, and we started to do it a lot better, and it's fun. I really like it, and I like that freedom of knowing, not having to worry at all when you go away, and this is going to sound like a silly thing to say, but not having to worry that you're going to feel like I'm missing out when you're playing by yourself with somebody. And I love it. It's great.
And I think it also helped with this pendulum that it was a pendulum, so we had a lot of people that we knew. There was a good crowd. It's just a good vibe in general. But also you had your pack. You had Leo there. You had the gentleman there. And so I knew that you were in a good headspace. And so I didn't have to think about, like, are you going to be okay if I go off? It was like, you've got people, you'll be fine. I'm going to go do me. Or let somebody else do me.
That's great. You do you and let somebody else do you. Oh my gosh, that's great. Yeah, and at the same time, it may have blinked in my head when you left the bed, should I leave with her? And I was like, it blinked in there for just half a second, and I was like, no, because this is okay.
Yeah.
And
if you'd made a move, I would have shoved you back down. So
awesome.
it's okay.
Good to know. But it was such a such a good experience and so much fun. And
Yeah.
I know that we ended up sharing an Uber back to our place with some other friends of ours that we hadn't seen in forever.
No, yeah.
And I know that was one of the couples that Leo and I were chatting with when you first went upstairs. That whole we talked to them for, actually, now that I'm thinking back, a good 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So they could have been the ones that we were chatting with the whole time. And they were ones that I would have loved to have had an opportunity to play with. But unfortunately, the club has to close at 3, and, you start to run out of time.
It's really good, though, to have those nights and those experiences and those times where there's just so many great people to talk to, so many fun people to play with, that you run out of time for it all.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing and a bad thing, because it's bad that you run out of time, but it's good that there's that much good around you, and that there's that much that you want to participate in, that there's so many people that you want to interact with. And it's, that's a really good place to be in life, is to have that.
Yeah.
To have those moments and those experiences where you're like, I am so happy right now.
And it really was. And it was one of those things that we got home and I was like, I feel like I'm in such a good space.
Yeah.
And that's been the whole weekend. And, we're unfortunately running out of time. So we're not going to talk about what happened on Saturday. I know we talked about Friday, but we don't get to talk about what happened on Saturday, because we don't have time. But it was what sort of got me to my headspace today, which was I'm honestly in the best headspace that I've been in, in months. Like, it's at least maybe since Desire, to be honest. And it's kind of great to feel so in control, which is something that I often feel like I don't have this control. And so to be as calm and comfortable, and like, tomorrow's Monday and I'm like, all right, cool, I can handle it. There's nothing. And it's just amazing what that kind of, I guess, connection with so many different people, sexual connection, and even deeper connection with so many different people can do. And because I look back on it now, and it's like the only person that I interacted with that was like new was the last lady that we played with. And honestly, I can already tell that, like, this is someone who I kind of want to keep around. Like, I want this person to be part of our circle. And so it's nice. It's fun to have that. And, like, these are all my people. And I like, it's great. Makes me happy.
The tribe is getting bigger.
The tribe is getting bigger. This just means that when we inevitably purchase our cul-de-sac, once we win our $1 million trillion and we purchase a cul-de-sac with all the houses and the townhouses, it's just going to have to be...
It's going to be bigger.
Maybe it's no longer a cul-de-sac. Maybe it's a village. It takes a village. It takes a village to keep Bradford happy.
Talk about high maintenance. Wow.
I am high fucking maintenance. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It
was a great night. It was just so much fun.
Yeah.
So much positive energy, good conversations, fantastic play, and I very much enjoyed all the playtime I had. I was upstairs way longer than I was downstairs.
Yeah, me too. Which again,
that's
so
good.
rare for me.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to wonder, like, is it Annandale? Is it me? Like, because I feel like I have hit a breakthrough, which we could also talk about on another podcast in the future, that I hit a breakthrough right around the time that Annandale opened, during their soft open. And I'm wondering, is this because of Annandale?
Yeah.
Or is it was parallel to Annandale? Causation or correlation, and or causality or correlation, and I'm not sure which. I am totally okay with saying that it's Annandale. I don't know if that's accurate. But yeah.
By the way, it's a good place to be.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. And awesome fucking. Any last things? I know we have so much more to talk about, but...
My only last thing is to say thank you to everybody who came out to Pendulum.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And for creating such a space and being part of it and just bringing your awesome energy and having fun.
Yes. And I want to point out that so many people who come to Pendulum, like, not everybody are podcast listeners, which is totally okay. But there's a lot of people who thank us for creating a space that makes people feel safe to do this. But That's not accurate. So number one, the people we have to thank are Our Secret Spot, Jess and Lawrence at Our Secret Spot, who took a chance on this concept years ago now. And they've provided us this space in which we can do this. But it's not even that. It's the people who come to the party. You know, it's like all we've done is create a space with permission.
Yeah.
And it's the people who come to the party that make it work. And the number of messages that we get, or people who say to us as they leave how safe they feel, how great this is, how different this is, how amazing this is. It's not because of us. It's because of all the other people who are there.
Yeah.
It's such a great community and it's such a great experience. And all I'm saying is if you live in the States or you live outside of Sydney, like it's something special. And I know for me and talking to the gentleman, and I think you've said it as well, that the only other time we feel like this is at Desire with the Life on the Swing Set takeover.
Yeah.
And I forget how fortunate we are to have that here on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
You know, every other month except for the last month we had to due to travel. It's kind of amazing, and I forget that, and I need to remind myself each time. I think, but it's not us, it's you. So thank you. I mean, that sounds wanky, but it's true.
It's the collective. It's everybody. It's all of us together.
Yeah. So we will, of course, let you know when the next Pendulum is, so that you can come out to there. And in the meantime, if you want to reach out to us, we have lots of emails that we need to respond to. I know there's a truck driver in Australia that I know listens to us. I've read your email. I need to respond to it. I'm so sorry I haven't done it yet, but travel's been mad.
I want to discuss on here.
Yeah, I think his question is fucking epic.
Yeah.
So you will hear a response, I promise. And you might read one. You'll read one as well. It might not be the whole response you want, but anyway. But thank you to everybody who listens. And if you want to reach out to us and get a message back, sooner or later, please email us at theatomsoflove@gmail.com, or you can Instagram us, Facebook us, Twitter us at By the By Podcast. Do we have it up? Is it up? Yes. Holy shitballs. For those people who actually listen to this far into the podcast, we should have talked about it at the fucking beginning.
No, it's fine.
We have a new website.
Yeah.
Designed by the most gorgeous, talented sound designer, web designer in the world, who gives the best head, has the best hip to waist ratio, and is fucking beautiful. Angela.
Yay! I'm not sure I agree with all of that, but sure, we'll go with it.
I like it. You're right. You're not the best sound editor.
No, it's true. No.
I'm kidding. So check out our new website. We have some new stuff that's going to be coming up there soon. We're going to try to make updates to it over the next month. It's gonna be evolving.
It's still evolving. I think it's in a good place now, but there will be some updates to it. So keep an eye on it. Check back. And if you're a Patreon person, you get a few little extras. Yes,
all the messages will go out to Patreon people this week. I'm going to be on it this week, so I'm actually going to take a day off of work to focus on podcast stuff. So, woo! So thank you very much. Anything else you want to say?
I just want to say thank you to all of our lovely listeners.
You do want to say something.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Like, for the 5 people who listen to the end.
Join us on The Wet Coast, a podcast about sexuality and ethical non-monogamy of every variety. We talk polyamory and swinging, monogamish and open relationships, from dirty sex to heartbreak and everything in between. We share our personal experiences and philosophy, observations and theories, what works for us, and where we fucked it right up. This isn't your average couple's explanabrag podcast, though we definitely do a little of that. We share our adventures in open with a unique, funny, feminist, and Canadian approach. Come get wet with us on The Wet Coast.